Alrighty, folks, we're 4-0 in our last four chairman picks on my premium site. And if you want to see a written quick pick recap for every single game on the slate here today, both the side and the total, that is available for you on my premium site. It's available to Gold Club members. And before we go ahead and move on, folks, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my Major League Baseball free pick video here today. For Friday, September 13th, 2024. Happy Friday to you. It's Friday the 13th. Hopefully you don't get your throat slashed. Of course, if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. And if you want to see which one of these free plays in this video that I actually like the best, you may want to think about signing up for my chairman membership on my premium page. We're once again 4-0 in our last four plays in that package. And if you sign up for that membership, you're going to get access to that package every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. And once again, if you want to see what I'm picking on every single game on the slate here today, both the side and the total, you can do that right now by checking out my written quick pick recap on my premium page. It's available exclusively to Gold Club members. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some free content here today. Orioles, Tigers, 6:40 p.m. East. Baltimore's minus $1.45, totals 8 runs. Zach Eflin for the O's, Brant Herter possible for the Tigers. And even though Herter's put up some good numbers, the Tigers as an organization have certainly had a tough time hitting Baltimore pitching recently. They average just 3.6 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head gatherings. And no real surprise here, folks. The Tigers are a bottom 10 hit-producing lineup at home. And they're going to face Zach Eflin, who's definitely appreciated the change of scenery this season. He's 5-1 with the Orioles with an ERA of 2.37. But even if he ends up blowing chunks, the O's have had ample success hitting the baseball this year. They're a top 3 run-producing team on the road. Anthony Santander's got the third most homers in the bigs, 95 RBI. And Gunnar Henderson leads the lineup in hits. Now, total-wise, the O's have seen plenty of overs in their road trips. These guys are 63% of the over in all of their contests away from Camden Yards. Give me the Orioles minus 145, over 8. Next game, Royals, Pirates, 6:40 p.m. East. Pittsburgh's minus $1.25, totals 8.5. Luis Ortiz for the Bucks, Alec Marsh for Kansas City. And the Royals have gotten the W in 3 out of their last 4 Alec Marsh starts. 5-3 straight up in his last 8. And I tell you, they've given him plenty of run support in those victories. KC's a top 10 hit-producing team. Bobby Witt Jr., he has the highest qualifying batting average in the major leagues. 9th most RBI. And speaking of runs batted in, Salvi Perez, he's got the 6th most RBI in the major leagues himself. And they're going to face a Bucks club who just doesn't like to score for Luis Ortiz. They've averaged just 2.6 runs a game in his last 5 starts. And, that's not overly shocking. The Bucks have had all kinds of problems making contact with the baseball. They're in the bottom 5 in strikeouts per 9 at the plate. Now, total-wise, Ortiz saw his last 5 starts stay under the total, 10-2 to the under in his last dozen. Meanwhile, Kansas City went 80% to the under in their last 10. Give me Kansas City plus 105. Under 8.5. Next game, little NL East action here. Mets, Phils, 6:40 p.m. East. Philadelphia's minus $1.60, totals 8.5. Aaron Nola for the Titans, Jose Quintana for New York. And we are looking at, 2 clubs with some really good hitting lineups here. The Mets are in the top 5 in hits per game on the road. Meanwhile, the Phils average more runs a game at home than any other lineup besides one. Now, total-wise, the Phils went 14-9 to the over in their divisional home games. Meanwhile, the Mets on the other side, they've gone 80% to the over against the NL East on the road. I'll take the over 8.5. Next game, more NL East action. Marlins Nationals 6:45 East. Washington's $1.45 at home, totals 8. DJ Hers for the Nats, Ed Cabrera for Miami. And even though Cabrera's numbers aren't great, strikeouts are definitely up for the righty. He's punched out 90 batters in just 83 innings of work. Of course, as a team, the Marlins did get the W in his last 2 outings. It was actually 14 total runs they scored during that short span. And they're going to face a 3-7 DJ Hertz, who really hasn't gotten a ton of run support. The Nats average under 3.1 runs a game in his last 5 starts. And really, that's not overly shocking. Washington is a bottom 10 run scoring team. Now, total-wise, Hertz's last 5 starts, I just mentioned, all stayed under the total. Now, the Nats also went 60% to the under in their last 10 meetings with Miami. Now, 6 out of the Marlins' last 10 ball games fell under the line themselves. Give me the Marlins plus 1.5, under 8. Next game, Red Sox, Yankees, 7:05 East. New York's minus $1.55, totals 8.5. Clark Schmidt for the Bombers, Tanner Houck for Boston. And even though Houck's been good, the Bo Sox really just don't want to win for the guy. He's got a losing 8-10 record on this season. And out of his last 9 starts, the Bo Sox took the loss in all of those games except for 1. And unfortunately for them, they're facing the highest run-producing lineup in the National League. Aaron Judge leads the majors in homers, RBI, and OPS. Of course, Juan Soto's got an on-base percentage of .418. But even if the bats go cold here today for the Pinstripers, they've got a good one in Clark Schmidt on the hill. He's got an ERA in the 2s, 1.13 whip. And when it comes to the injury list, Rob Refsnyder's questionable for the Bo Sox. David Hamilton's still out. Give me the Yankees minus 145. Next game, Cardinals, Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern, first pitch. Toronto's minus $1.35, totals 8 runs. Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays, Eric Fetty for St. Louis. Now, the Redbirds do have a winning record in their interleague games. They've also hit Toronto pitching quite well in recent gatherings. The Cards are averaging 11.6 hits a game in their last 10 meetings with Toronto. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays on the other side, they continue to struggle for Kevin Gausman. They took the loss in 3 out of his last 4 starts. They averaged under 3.1 runs a game during that span. And out of Toronto's 40 interleague ball games this year, they've got a win percentage of just .425. Now, 3 out of Toronto's last 5 home games did stay under the total. They're also 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, St. Louis on the other side, they saw 6 out of their last 10 stay under the total themselves. Give me St. Louis plus $1.15, under 8. Next game, Rays, Guardians, 7:10 East. Cleveland's $1.85, total 7.5. Tanner Bybee for the Guardians, Zach Littell for Tampa Bay. And Littell's just 6-9 with a 1.33 whip. But even if he ends up throwing a gem here today, he's probably not going to get much run support. The Rays score fewer runs a game than any other team in the American League other than the White Sox. And they have to face an 11-win Tanner Bybee, who's got 166 strikeouts and a 1.13 whip. And I'll tell you what, these Cleveland pitchers have been fairly dominant this season. They're allowing just 7.6 hits a game. Now, out of their last 10 ball games, the Guardians cashed in on the run line in 60% of those outings. Give me Cleveland minus 1.5. All right, next game should be a good one. Dodgers, Braves, 7:20 Eastern, first pitch. Both teams minus $1.10, pretty much a coin flip. Totals 8.5. Spencer Schwellenbach for Atlanta, Landon Knack for Los Angeles. And I'll tell you, this is a tough one to handicap. I'm not going to lie to you there. Both pitchers with ERAs in the threes. Very impressive whips out of both guys as well. Of course, both lineups with several sluggers who can pound the baseball respectively. Now, injury-wise, Hernandez is questionable for the Dodgers. Merrifield day-to-day for Atlanta. And when it comes to the total, more conflicting factors that make this one tough to pick. The Braves saw 6 out of their last 7 at Truist Park stay under the line. Meanwhile, the Dodgers went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves. So if you want to see whether I'm making a play on the money line, total, or against the run line in this one, this game is being featured as my extra daily pick on my premium page. Next game, A's White Sox, 7:40 Eastern start time. Oakland's minus $1.30, totals 8 runs. Brady Basso for Oakland, Garrett Crochet for Chicago. And Crochet continues to throw well despite his team. The lefty's just 9 strikeouts shy of 200 for the year. Crochet's also got a stingy 1.10 whip. And they're facing an Oakland squad who really has not hit the ball well. These guys are in the bottom 5 in runs per game. And out of their last 10 meetings with the White Sox, the A's averaged only 7.7 hits per 9. Now, total-wise, 3 out of the Sox last 4 at Guaranteed Rate Field fell under the total. They also went 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give it the White Sox plus 1.5, under 8. Next ball game, Reds Twins, 8:10 p.m. East. Minnesota's minus 225, totals 8.5. Bailey Ober for Minnesota, Julian Aguilar for Cincinnati. And the Reds got the W in all 5 of Aguilar's starts this year. 44 total runs they scored during that time frame. Elly De La Cruz leads the league in stolen bases. He's got a 4.8 wins above replacement average. And Spencer Steer's got the second most stolen bases on the roster, club leader in RBI. And they're facing a Minnesota squad who took the loss in 3 out of Bailey Ober's last 4 starts. And out of the Twins' last 10 ball games, they covered the run line in only 30% of those contests. Now, injury-wise, Will Benson's questionable for the Reds. When it comes to the total, 6 out of the Reds' last 7 road games did stay under the line. They're also 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Now, 6 out of the Twins' last 10 outings stayed under the total themselves. Give me the Reds plus 1.5, under 8.5. Next matchup, Cubs, Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. Chicago's minus $1.45, totals 10.5. Javi Assad for Chicago, Austin Gomber for Colorado. And the lefty Gomber is 5-10 with an ERA of 4.50. Of course, this Colorado pitching staff's been the worst in the game. They allow over 10.4 hits a game at home. And no real surprise here, folks. They're giving up more runs per contest than any other staff in the majors. And they're going to face a Chicago club who actually does the majority of their hitting on the road. This is currently a top 5 run-producing team on the road in the league. Nico Horner leads the clubhouse in hits. Ian Happ's got the most homers and RBI. But even if the Cubs suck ass at the plate here today, they've got a good one in Javier Assad on the mound. 3.14 ERA, 111 strikeouts. When it comes to the total, the Cubs' last 4 straight on the road did get over the total. They're also 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Cubs minus 145, over 10.5. Next ball game, Astros Angels, 9:38 East. Houston's $1.95, totals 8.5. Yusei Kikuchi for the Stros, Sam Aldegari for the Angels. And even though Sam's looked good, he's got just 11 innings of work under his belt this year. And I'll tell you what, there's a high probability he'll get little to no run support. The Angels averaged under 7.6 hits a game. They're actually in the bottom 5 in runs scored. And they're going to face Yusei Kikuchi, who's really benefited from the change of scenery this year. The lefty's 4-0 with the Astros with a .98 whip. Of course, at the plate, the Astros have a top 3 hit-producing lineup. Yordan Alvarez, he's got an OPS of 959. Yandy Diaz with the most RBI in the clubhouse. When it comes to the injury list, Altuve is questionable for the Astros. McCormick's still out. Meanwhile, for Los Angeles, Brandon Drury is day-to-day with a hammy. Now, total-wise, 6 out of the Angels' last 10 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, Houston went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Give me the Astros minus 1.5, over 8.5. Next game, Brewers D-backs, 9:40 p.m. East. Arizona's minus $1.25, totals 8.5. Ed Rodriguez for Arizona, Fred Peralta for Milwaukee. And both teams with their fair share of sluggers. Milwaukee's a top 5 hit-producing team on the road. And Arizona, they score more runs a game than any other franchise in baseball. Now, 3 out of the D-backs' last 4 at Chase Field got over the total. They also went 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the over 8.5. Next matchup, Rangers-Mariners, 10:10 p.m. East. Texas is minus $1.30, total 7. Jake DeGrom making his season debut for Texas. Emerson Hancock for the Mariners. And unfortunately, folks, I have no free pick for you for that game. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. Little NL West action. It's going to be the Padres at the Giants, 10:15 East. Both clubs are minus $1.10, total 7. Dylan Cease for San Diego, Logan Webb for San Francisco. And as good as Webb's been, the Giants lost 6 out of their last 10, and they do have a tough time pitching against San Diego. The staff's allowed nearly 5.1 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Friars. And speaking of San Diego, they are the best road-hitting team in the game. They're averaging more hits per 9 away from home than any other roster in baseball. They also strike out fewer times a game than any other club as well. Manny Machado's got the most hits on the roster, most homers and RBI as well. And Luis Arraez, he hits .323 at the plate. But even if the Padres struggle in the box, they've got a good one in Dylan Cease on the hill. 205 strikeouts for the righty, 1.09 whip. Give me San Diego minus $1.10. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to make you watch the entire video here today. Yeah, you got to watch it. No, do we do that? I don't know. We'll do it today. We'll make sure you watch the video today. No quick pick recap. You want that quick pick recap? You want that Gold Club package, premium site? Bam, there it is. Alrighty, guys. That's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on that premium site. If you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/ProgPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your membership. Actually, you know what? Let's do the quick pick recap. Give me Baltimore minus 145 over 8. Royals plus 105 under 8.5. I like the over 8.5 in the Mets-Phillies game. Marlins plus 1.5 under 8. Yankees minus 145. Cardinals plus $1.15 under 8. Guardians minus 1.5. No free pick available for you in the Dodgers-Braves game. White Sox plus 1.5 under 8. Reds plus 1.5 under 8.5 runs. Cubs minus 145 over 10.5. Astros minus 1.5 over 8.5. I like the over 8.5 in the Brewers Diamondbacks game. I have no free pick available for you in the Rangers-Mariners game, and give me the Padres minus $1.10. And once again, got to thank you for joining me for the free video here today, guys. And real quick, I always tell folks that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership, gives you access to every single premium selection line, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my exclusive Gold Club video where I break down each and every one of my premium selections absolutely free. It's included with your membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Friday to you. Happy Friday the 13th to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site at patreon.com/BrockPage.